thank you for being here. As I mentioned earlier, the Biden administration is punishing the state of Arizona for unmasking school children, using the Treasury Department in an effort to strip the state of federal funds. Here to respond is Attorney General of Arizona, Mark Brnovich. Mr. Attorney General, I thank you for being here. The Treasury is threatening to recall $160 million of COVID funds that they've already allocated to you unless you mask up school kids in Arizona. How can they do this?
Well, Raymond, they shouldn't be able to do this. And as I have fought the Biden administration so many times in federal court, in fact, just yesterday, we had a lawsuit in the Ninth Circuit about the Biden administration's attempt to impose conditions on COVID relief dollars and preventing Arizona from even cutting our income taxes. So this is just another attempt by the Biden administration to impose the federal will on the states. And I know Joe Biden's memory is bad, but I assume that he was around when the Constitution was written, and he should remember that the states created the federal government. The federal government didn't create the states. And so when Congress passed the COVID relief bill, they didn't impose conditions. And President Biden is not a king. He is the president. So he can't unilaterally start imposing conditions over policies that he disagrees with.
Yeah, we also should remember, this is your money. This is my money that they threw out to these states willy-nilly. Now they want to add conditions to them, attach strings to limit a child's freedom in a school in Arizona. The government's COVID largesse, by the way, has sparked mass fraud. Oregon reported $24 million in unemployment fraud in 2020. Michigan paid up to $8.5 billion in fraudulent jobless claims, and California's unemployment fraud hit $20 billion. And the feds are coming after you, Mr. Attorney General?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I would just say one thing to everyone watching tonight. Let us never forget that any government that's big enough to give you everything is big enough to take it away. And so in this country, we have seen right now the Biden administration and the progressive left trying to nationalize everything, whether it's socializing our economy, nationalizing our elections, and now trying to take control of our local schools. And so there's this fundamental question about why do we even have a federal Department of Education? Why is the federal government dictating to places like Phoenix, Arizona, or Tucson that they have to teach critical race theory, or they have to have this mask policy or that policy? Because fundamentally, we need to start getting back to the notion that local issues should be left up to people in those states. It's not up to the federal government to solve every one of our problems. And as we send our tax dollars to Washington, D.C., the federal government keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes oppressive. And this is why the framers wanted our federal government to be limited. And that's what the Constitution was designed to do, because the framers understood as government gets bigger, it becomes unresponsive, it becomes oppressive, and that's why you end up in situations where Joe Biden and AOC want to dictate to our schools here in Arizona that they should teach this or teach that, or they should have this kind of policy. It's fundamentally wrong, and we need to get back to the states and local control.
Attorney General Brnovich, it's such a wise and important context to situate this in, because I think people lose sight of that, and that this is their money, particularly when other municipalities and states across the country use this money, which was relief money, to pay off debts, help people with their rent. Now you all get penalized and targeted. It's outrageous. Thank you very much, Attorney General Brnovich. We will check in the days ahead. And the